Yeah.
Alistair, congratulations on a big win for you. Obviously, it's not an easy thing to put Mark Hunt out like that. Talk about just how you felt about your overall performance tonight.
I felt good. I felt very confident about the training, about the work I put in. After the Stipe loss, didn't take any time off. I just went straight back to the gym. Identified several things that we needed to improve and just start building from there, and definitely put in the hours. Wanted some additional time to prepare because UFC wanted me already to fight December. But I said, no, it's a little too soon. I need a little bit more time. And that's important. You know, you gotta, every fight is a test. Every UFC, it's not just a fight. It's life or death. That's how I treat it. And again, very proud about the team, people I have around me, very happy with the work that I put in, and it showed tonight.
I thought it was interesting that afterwards, you kind of suggesting, it's not over yet. We're not done yet. Do you feel like people were kind of writing you off after the loss?
People are always writing me off. Yeah, what can I say? What can I say? I mean, maybe it has to do with my longevity career. It's been 24 years training and competing. But I don't know, I just love fighting. I love the UFC. The UFC is truly the best promotion I ever fought for, and I've had it for 24 years. They're doing a great job promoting us, the fighters, but promoting the sport worldwide in a proper way. And yeah, I'm just very happy to be part of it.
And last for me, you've mentioned the name Francis Ngannou a couple times. Curious why that one's interesting to you, because of course he looks like the dangerous young guy right now, the up-and-comer, and would try to make a name off you. I don't know how much you would get off him, and he looks like a really dangerous guy. So why is that a guy you want to fight?
Well, I like to test myself. I believe that every opponent makes me better. And I don't know, he mentioned my name, and I was open to the idea. I was like, hey, wait a minute, somebody wants to fight me. I never back down from nobody who wants to fight me. That's one. And number two, of course, Francis is there. I would never, if that's going to happen, it's great. But I'm also going to be looking for that other fight, of course, championship fight, JDS versus Stipe. Two great athletes, two tremendous fighters. I really loved their first fight. It was back and forth and a very tough fight for both. But as if JDS would win that one, I could see a rematch there too. Me and JDS.
Alistair, a lot of the work in the fight was done up against the cage. Mark Hunt was able to land a few short elbows before you knocked him out. Was there anything in that clinch in terms of you having to make any types of adjustments, or was it just waiting for the opportunity to land those knees?
Well, again, I remember from my first fight with Mark, the guy is durable, but above all, he's very strong. He has that one punch knockout power. So that's something that's constantly in your mind. You gotta, before you know it, you're waking up in the locker room and it's done. So that's something you gotta be careful about, and that means that's gonna stop your attack, your offensive.
He
Don't leave. How was that? Stay there.
Did you know he was sick? So he's been in the hospital for 24 hours with food poisoning, throwing up and all the other pleasantries of food poisoning for 24 hours. Was in the hospital, brought him home, and we had to bring him back to the hospital. They had to fill him with bags of fluids and IVs, and at one point he was afraid to leave his room because he couldn't stop throwing up and everything else. Did not want to turn down the fight. Still came out and fought tonight and knocked out Mark Hunt. So, and more to his credit, didn't say one word about it in his interview, and obviously hadn't said it here yet. I just came in to thank him and tell him how much I respect him.
Alistair, just one more for me. There was kind of a strange injury to Mark Hunt's right shin. It looked like he was throwing some low kicks and got a real big gash on his shin.
He said he broke his tibia, just for that matter. He said he broke his tibia.
Oh, okay. So to the outside of your knee, did that register with you when it happened? Did you have any perspective on when he sustained that injury? Was anything you noticed at the time?
Well, he was kicking my leg, and I thought he might do that. He's a K1 champion. He kicks. He throws bombs. So checking those kicks was one part of the game plan, because you don't want to. He actually landed a couple. My leg is a little bit bruised. But yeah, did he break his fibula? Fibula is on the back of the leg, right?
Tibia, the tibia. it's the down the bottom, the shin.
Of his left or right leg?
I don't remember what he said. I think it was right leg.
Right leg.
But he posted on Instagram that he broke it. My first question for you, and then I have one for the president, is you were switching southpaw and conventional a lot in the fight. I mean, what does that do against a guy like Hunt?
Well, you want him to guess what you're doing, right? And switching up opens up other possibilities of attack, defenses. Again, you got to be sharp for Mark, because one mistake and it's over. That's in the heavyweight division anyway. What with Mark Hunt in particular, we've seen him fight Bigfoot. We've seen him do it to Frank Mir. One mistake and it's so you got to be on your toes. You got to be sharp. Very happy that I was able to do that.
Dana, I know we always talk about the matchmaking thing, but he mentioned Francis Ngannou afterwards, and the guy is as hot as anybody. But he's a young guy. Do you think that Francis is a guy that you could see at this stage of his career fighting Alistair?
Well, we're planning something. He's already got something planned for this summer. So, but yeah, I think the guy needs, one or two more fights, and yeah, he could be there.
And can I ask you about the main event? Just your thought on the main?
Sure.
While he's sitting there, I don't want to. It seemed like neither guy was willing to engage, and both were so very cautious. What was your thought on when Joe Rogan said he thought it was an entertaining main event? The crowd did not. What did you think?
That was nice of Joe. When I was out doing a radio tour for this fight, I said, "You've all seen the first fight. How can the second fight be not be good?" So, I guess it doesn't matter what the first fight was like. The second fight can be not as good. I had it 3-2 the other way. I thought that that Wonder Boy won 3-2. One of the judges scored the last round 10-8. So that obviously throws the, yeah.
Question over here for
What? Hey, listen, man. It's easy to sit in your seats, drink some beers and some popcorn and boo people, man. But they're not in there fighting Tyrone Woodley or Wonder Boy. These guys, a lot was at stake, and and these guys, fought the way they needed to fight to win. Woodley came out and made some big claims before the fight that we would have a definitive answer on who's the champion and things like that. I like Tyrone. He just, he's talented. You've heard me say all the things he is before. You can't be upset if people or whatever now after that second fight. I mean, come on.
Okay, sorry about that. Question over here to your right, Alistair. Hey, congratulations on the win. Just a question, the elbow he landed, I think, in the second round. How badly were you hurt?
Definitely rocked me. And I didn't even know I got hit till after the fight, till my coaches told me. So it definitely had an impact. But, when you're in the flow, you can also fight autopilot. And stuff comes back to you later. I'll be watching the tape too, expecting some stuff to come too. But it definitely.
And if you could clarify, I don't know what the rules are in total clarity here, but just to clarify, Alistair, were you administered an IV at the hospital? And if so, was there a therapeutic use exemption given by USADA? What happened there?
Yes, we went through all the steps necessary. So got really sick, and yesterday I was at the weigh-ins. I was out. I was like low energy. I mean, I put on my my acting face, looking angry, but I had like zero energy. And if I'd felt today as I felt yesterday, I would not have been able to perform. But went to the hospital, got an IV, slept very good. Took someone to help me sleep. I could get some food in yesterday evening before sleeping, and recovered kind of okay. And yeah, we're gonna go for it, and we're gonna do this. Again, getting a lot of confidence from my training, my preparation, studying tape, all the work that's been done, not just the last 2 months in Albuquerque, but immediately after the Stipe fight, I just went back to the gym and started improving.
Hey, Dana, before you take off, can I ask you a couple? I know that you hate to matchmake right at the end of a night, but you do have, the welterweight pitcher has now got some clarity, I guess. You have a champion now, but Maia was looked at as the guy who was next in line. Now he's got a fight booked. So do you have any kind of clarity you can give to that welterweight title pitcher?
I don't. No. I know you don't matchmake the night of fights, but what are you
This
gonna
is
do
just one of
next?
those interesting ones where Maia had just been booked, but it's just you got to give it time, I guess, and
Yeah,
okay.
we'll figure it out.
And then also, I know it's only been 24 hours, but any conversation you had with Tony, what he wants to do now? This guy was ready for a fight. Any discussion that you had with
We haven't.
Khabib?
The thing is that he was devastated. When he came over to our offices, and he was as bad as anybody I've ever seen when a fight pulls out. So I'm just giving him some time to, and we'll see. I honestly, to be honest with you, Khabib fought in New York in November, and then here in this fight, 2 back-to-back, weight cuts like that. I don't know if he can make the weight or if he needs to get a better plan, dietitian, something. I don't know, but he got within 6 pounds and was in really rough shape. So he's gonna have to take some time to recover from this weight cut, and then I don't know what to do.
Last question, just trying to get some clarity on something about Ferguson. In the past, when guys have had opponents pull out at the last minute and it wasn't their fault, they've received their show money, but this one's unique, obviously, with the title on the line and a co-main event. Is there anything you can tell us?
Yeah, we've never done that.
So no show money was paid?
No, he got paid. He did get paid, but he did.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
When you said if Habib would have called you or Ali or whoever it was, if they would have called you, can you clarify what you meant and what could you have possibly done?
Yeah, so what would have been different was if he would have called Dr. Davidson or Brianna, the two who handle all the medical stuff for the UFC, they would have brought him right to the hospital. Apparently he was treated horribly at Sunrise Hospital. Shocker here in Vegas. That's no shock, but he should have gone to Valley Hospital. He should have been with Doc D. Doc D would have got him right in. They would have checked his vitals. They would have seen where he was. But when you walk into just some random hospital here in Las Vegas and they see the guy and they tell him he's waiting cut, they just start filling him full of fluids. That's immediately what they do. They bring you in, they stick in the IV and start, Doc D would have took him in, checked his vitals, seen where he was. I'm not saying that the fight could have been saved, but maybe it could have. We've been in these positions before. This isn't our first rodeo, so.
And did he have any, I know he had a bad weight cut, but was there anything like, did they say a kidney failure, or what specifically did they say other than?
No, well, he went in and I guess he was having pains, either where your kidneys are or your liver or something. I don't know the exact specifics, but he was having pains, and I'm sure you guys saw the picture. He looked terrible. I don't think there was any real damage done to it. When I say damage, I mean long term. I'm sure he's, it's going to take him a little while to recover from this weight cut, but yeah, he would have been handled a lot better had he called Brianna or Dr. Davidson, because Ali told me that their experience at Sunrise was horrible. Cool.
When Mark Hunt calls you a cheater before the fight, do you feel that takes away from the things and the accomplishments that you've had in the sport?
People know what I've done. People know what I've not didn't do. And again, I really feel positive. I'm an optimist. I think his whole avenue was pretty negative from the get-go. And then I'm talking about the lawsuit towards UFC and complaining and clearly stated I would have never taken the same avenues. I would never, I don't know. I'm more a guy I would phone, make an appointment, I come in, and I talk about what's going on, and you come to a resolution. I thought his whole demeanor was pretty negative, and I'm not going to continue with that negativity. I keep it positive. I look at my own situation, I look at my own position, You know, I put in a lot of work for this fight. And again, at the same time, I respect Mark Hunt because he's a champion, and I love his fight style. We're okay outside of the octagon, but I didn't want to get drawn in that negativity.
Alistair, just right in front of you here. It sounds like
But I did give him that look. I'm gonna whoop your ass in the weigh-ins. He knows that.
there you go. And just from Dana's comments there, it sounds like that Francis Ngannou fight is not an option for you next. Derek Lewis is another guy that called out the winner of that. Does that interest you as well, or if not, Francis, what else is out there?
Well, I'm open to fighting Francis. I'm open to fighting Derek Lewis. I'm open to fighting the winner, JDS Stipe. If JDS wins, because that's a little bit more logical step to me, and it needs to make sense. So we're gonna wait and see. We're gonna wait and see what's being on the table. I know that UFC's coming to Holland, I think, sometime this year, sometime. So very excited about that, and we'll see. We'll see. I'm just gonna make sure not take too long a time off, get back in the gym, and get better than I was yesterday.
Who do you think wins that JDS Stipe fight?
I don't know. It's very tight. I mean, Stipe is doing great work. Ever since he lost from JDS, he's been on a roll. He's finishing his opponents left and right, dominating them. But JDS is a tough cookie, and he won their first fight. So I don't know. Again, two tremendous athletes, two tremendous warriors. I can only have respect for both, for everything what they've shown in the octagon. I'm not rooting for anybody, but I'm just saying if JDS wins that, there's a little something there between me and JDS that could be a shortcut. Thank you.
Sorry, Alistair, just one more. Could you just clear up your coaching situation, because you trained at Jackson's, but you didn't have any coaching member of the team in your corner, but they were.
That is not true.
Who was there? Can you tell us?
Roberto Alencar.
Okay, but none of the striking coaches, right?
Okay, so then we're talking Wink, Brandon, or Frank?
Or Greg, of course, but
No,
yes.
I have my own striking coaches. They're from Holland. Asad Soufi, Benji Zimmerman. Great guys. We known these guys for 15, 20 years. And I've basically been taking them to Jackson's, and they're welcome with open arms there for the last 20 years. So they're with me in camp all the way. Love those guys. Couldn't have done it without those guys. And yeah, it just feels logical to have people with me that are in the camp with me, that you're game planning with, that you're studying with, you're vibing with. They're family. You know, they're friends, but because of the time we spend, they become family.
Okay. But you're still going to stay there, right?
Of course.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Congrats.